What if I told you that the next 10 years of your financial life could be transformed by what you do over the next 12 months? Not through a lottery ticket, not through a lucky investment, not through some secret financial strategy that only experts understand, but through 1 year, just 1 year of smart saving. Most people underestimate what can happen in a year. They look at 12 months and see a short period of time, too short to become wealthy, too short to completely change their life, too short to create meaningful financial progress, and in some ways, they're right. 1 year usually isn't enough to become financially free. But here's what most people miss. 1 year is more than enough to change your trajectory. And when your trajectory changes, your future changes. Because wealth is not built in a single year. Wealth is built from the momentum that a single year can create. Today, we're going to explore how 1 year of smart saving can completely alter the next decade of your life, and why 12 months of discipline can create opportunities that last for years. Let's begin. Imagine 2 versions of yourself. The first version continues living exactly as they do today. The same spending habits, the same financial decisions, the same priorities. Nothing changes. The second version makes a commitment. For the next 12 months, they become intentional with money. Not extreme, not miserable, not obsessed, just intentional. They track spending, reduce waste, avoid impulse purchases, save consistently, and focus on building a financial foundation. After 1 year, the difference between these 2 people might not look dramatic. One has a larger savings account, the other doesn't. But appearances can be deceiving, because the true impact of that year won't be visible immediately. It will appear over the next decade. Let's talk about something called financial momentum. Imagine trying to push a massive boulder up a hill. The first push is difficult. The second push is difficult. The third push is difficult. Progress feels slow. Sometimes it feels impossible. But eventually the boulder starts moving. And once momentum appears, every additional push becomes easier. Money works the same way. The hardest money you'll ever save is often the first money. The first $1,000, the first emergency fund, the first investment account, the first meaningful financial cushion. Because before momentum exists, every dollar saved feels like a sacrifice. After momentum exists, every dollar saved feels like progress. And 1 year is often enough to create that momentum. Now imagine someone who saves $10,000 during a single year. $10,000 won't make them wealthy. But it changes something important. For the first time, they have options. An unexpected expense no longer creates panic. A career opportunity becomes easier to pursue. A temporary setback becomes manageable. Financial flexibility begins to appear. And flexibility is one of the most underrated forms of wealth. People often think wealth means luxury. Expensive homes, luxury vacations, fancy cars. But true wealth often looks much simpler. True wealth is the ability to make decisions without financial fear. And 1 year of smart saving can begin creating that freedom. Let's talk about another hidden benefit: confidence. Money problems are rarely just financial. They're psychological. Constant financial stress creates worry, anxiety, uncertainty, self-doubt. Every bill feels heavier. Every unexpected expense feels threatening. Every financial decision feels risky. But saving changes how you see yourself, because every dollar saved becomes proof. Proof that you're capable of managing money. Proof that you're making progress. Proof that your future can improve. And confidence changes behavior. The person who believes they can improve their finances behaves differently from the person who believes they're stuck. That difference matters. Because behavior creates results. And results reinforce behavior. Now let's discuss something many people overlook. Smart saving is not just about accumulating money. It's about building habits. The money matters, but the habits matter even more. Imagine someone who saves consistently for 12 months. What have they really learned? patience, discipline, planning, delayed gratification, long-term thinking. Those skills don't disappear after 1 year. They become part of who that person is. And those habits continue creating value long after the original savings goal has been reached. This is why some people build wealth steadily throughout life, not because they discovered a secret, but because they developed habits that continue producing positive outcomes year after year, and 1 year is often enough to build those habits. Now let's consider the power of avoiding financial emergencies. Many financial setbacks aren't caused by lack of income. They're caused by a lack of preparation, a car repair, a medical expense, a job interruption, a family emergency. Without savings, these events can create debt. Debt creates interest. Interest creates financial pressure, and financial pressure creates more problems. But with savings, the same event becomes manageable. The challenge still exists, but the consequences are different. 1 year of smart saving can create a buffer between you and life's inevitable surprises, and that buffer can prevent years of financial damage. Think about that for a moment. A single year of preparation can protect the next decade from unnecessary setbacks. That's incredibly powerful. Now let's talk about opportunity. Most people focus on the problems money can solve, but money also creates opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to invest, to relocate, to start something new, to take calculated risks. Without savings, opportunities often look impossible. With savings, opportunities become accessible. Imagine receiving an opportunity to learn a valuable skill, start a side project, take a new career path, invest in yourself. The person with savings has choices. The person without savings often doesn't, and over a decade, those additional choices can dramatically change the direction of a life. This is one of the greatest hidden benefits of saving. It doesn't just protect you from bad situations, it helps you take advantage of good ones. Now, let's discuss compound growth. Most people know that money can compound, but few appreciate how dramatically small actions can influence the future. Imagine 2 people. One saves consistently for a year and creates a financial foundation. The other delays because the goal feels too difficult. 10 years later, the gap between them may be far larger than expected, not because one person earned more, but because one person started earlier. Time amplifies action, and 1 year of smart saving gives time something to work with. That's the real power, not the amount saved, but the momentum created, the habits established, the opportunities unlocked, the confidence gained, the risks avoided, the future strengthened. Now imagine yourself 10 years from now. What would that version of you want? Would they want another year of unnecessary spending? Another year of financial drift? Another year of excuses? Or would they want a stronger foundation? More options? More freedom? More security? The answer is obvious. Your future self doesn't need perfection. Your future self doesn't need a miracle. Your future self needs preparation. And preparation starts with action, not someday, not next year, not when circumstances become perfect. Today. Because every decade begins with a single year, and every financial transformation begins with a single decision. The decision to stop letting money control your future, and start using money to build it. 1 year of smart saving won't make you rich overnight, but it can change how you think, how you behave, how you prepare, how you respond to opportunities. And those changes can influence every year that follows. That's why 1 year matters so much. Not because of what happens during those 12 months, but because of what those 12 months make possible. A stronger future, a more confident future, a more flexible future, a wealthier future. And 10 years from now, you may look back and realize that the most important financial decision you ever made wasn't a huge investment or a lucky opportunity. It was simply deciding to spend 1 year saving smartly. Because sometimes the smallest chapter becomes the beginning of an entirely different story, and that story could be yours. If this documentary provided value and helped you think differently about money, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth documentaries on wealth, investing, financial psychology, and the habits that create long-term success. Don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to hear this message.